Canister filter cleaning day. Today I'll be cleaning the Fx6 filter on this aquarium that's a little past overdue. It might be a little messy. I'm going to take you along for the ride though and give you some tips that'll hopefully make it quicker and easier for you when you clean your own Fx6. You're watching the Cichlid Charmer. Let's get right into it. All right, now these are two of my Fx6 filters that I have on this aquarium. I have one on the other side as well. They are on a bench to raise them up off the ground a little bit. Now this first step that I'm going to show you, I don't normally do, but what I'm going to do is show you how to drain some of the water without actually lifting up the filter itself. I won't perform the steps, but I will show you how to do them. So you want to make sure that this is vertical, and then you're going to remove the cap and then the red screw-on cap as well. Now you're going to use the hose that's included with the Fx6 and push it on to the nozzle. And you want to make sure this is really tight. The force from the water can force it off, and then...
What the flood?
So yes, you want to make sure that that is tight, and then you'll put the other end in the bucket. It must be lower than the filter in order for gravity to pull this water out. Then we're going to turn off the input, which on mine is on the right. It might be backwards on yours. You do this by turning the handle horizontally about a half step. Same thing on the output, and I do this one a little bit more slowly. It allows a bit more water to escape, just so it doesn't come pouring out the top when I move it. After that, we're going to unplug it from the wall. I do use smart plugs. This allows me to turn on and off the filters from my phone. Now that we have that unplugged, going to actually remove the output. So you're going to press that red button at the bottom and then twist and pull upward. I have a towel around it to soak up any water that might escape. Sometimes there is a bit of water that comes out when you do this. Takes a little bit of strength to do this. Get that off of there, and then I'm just going to let it hang right by the filter. Then it's time to turn the valve on the bottom, the purge valve, half turn to the right clockwise, and then water will start pouring out. I did not actually do mine. Now when we're done and we have enough water out, we're going to turn it so it's perpendicular again, remove the hose, and then save that water in the bucket. You're going to put the stop back on. The red valve goes, or the red stop goes to the right. Twist it a few times, push the gray one on, and then counterclockwise on the red again to seal that in place. Now go to the intake valve and press that bottom red button, then twist and pull upward on it as well with the towel wrapped around this one. And twist that thing off of there. Use some strength to get that off. Then just let it hang by the filter again. And now we can remove the canister from the aquarium stand. Now, the reason I didn't purge any water out beforehand, like I just went through the process on how to do, is because it's not that heavy for me to remove. But for you, it might be so. In that case, you can just do what we just did. Now you're going to unscrew the locks, just counterclockwise until they're fairly loose. I usually do them in pairs, one across from the other, and then pull them down. That will allow you to pull the cover off the top of the canister. I grab both of the nozzles and just pull upward. It might give you a little resistance because of the suction that's in there. Shake some of the water off and put it on the ground. Grab the handles on each side of the media basket and lift upward, then let the media baskets just sit in place above the water in the canister, so a lot of that drips off back into the canister. We're going to use all that water, and you can put the water from the bucket back into this canister.
Now for the fun part.
All right, so looking at these baskets of filter media, it looks like I did wait a little bit too long. I'm going to pull these out here and just show you the coarse media sponge. It is pretty caked full of detritus and old food, and I'll show you here. It's pretty brown, and you can see little bits of particles stuck to the filter media. This sponge is no longer efficient. Not a lot of water is getting through that, but it looks like this one's even worse. This is the fine the fine media, fine filter media. And look at that, just really caked through. It's like a pancake full of garbage. Don't want that to look like that, or you won't get a lot of water flow. But surprisingly, looking through, it looks like those pads did their job, because the middle baskets all look good with this biomedia. It looks pretty much, I mean, just clean, like there's nothing on it at all. I wouldn't even have to really rinse this off, even though we will. Yeah, not bad at all. And these here, these are the outside sponges. They're coarse media too. This is where the water first hits the filter. It goes through the outside. It's coming back up from the bottom because the tube takes the water down from the tank to the bottom, then it comes up through those sides. And you can see here in the basket where those sponges were, it's just caked with detritus, but the inside's still looking good. So we're gonna take those out, get ready to clean those babies. They're all pretty gross. You can see all that darkness on there. We're gonna get that off. And you can see the outside nasty, but again, the inside not so bad. Then I'm just gonna take this over to the sink. This is the easiest thing for me to do to get the outside part of the basket clean. I'm not gonna get any of this chlorinated water on the biomedia on the inside. That can kill the beneficial bacteria, which we don't wanna do. In some cases that might not be such an issue, but we're just gonna play it safe. It looks clean, so ready to go. Take that back over. We're gonna do that to all of these baskets. But now this water inside of the canister is safe to use to clean. So we're gonna put the cleanest parts inside this water first. And so that's the biomedia. Now I can put the whole basket in. So this is a time saver right here. We don't have to take any of that biomedia out. We can just put the whole basket in now that it's clean and just rinse it off. We don't have to take it anywhere, remove the biomedia, just put it in there and rinse it off. You can see a little bit of detritus coming off into the water. We're gonna do this to all the baskets with the biomedia in them. Clean the outside there, the wall. And we're saving all of our beneficial bacteria by using this water. So I did the cleanest parts first. Now we're gonna do the dirty parts. These are pretty dirty. They're not the dirtiest, those black sponges are. But you can just see, look at that. It's just like, looks like the chocolate lake in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Look at that. Just coming off, it's disgusting. My fish are gonna be so happy. Ah, beautiful. All right, speeding this up a little bit so we can just get through this. So that's why you don't want to throw away that water from your initial purge if you've lightened up the load a little bit with that purge valve at the bottom of the canister. You just pour that back in here so you have extra water to clean with. And I know it looks disgusting, like why are you even cleaning these? You're just putting them in disgusting, filthy water. Well, I'm mainly just getting the detritus and filth out of the sponges, unclogging those holes. I'm still gonna have the beneficial bacteria on there because we're not using chlorinated water, and it doesn't really matter how dirty that water is. You can see that they're getting visibly cleaner than they were, and that's what we want. We want to unclog it so the efficiency of this filter is maintained. Anything that clogs these sponges is going to reduce the efficiency of the filter. Likewise with the biomedia, if you have extra biomedia, just remember that every bit that you add reduces the efficiency of how much water is going to go through this canister. That's why my bottom tray didn't have very much, because I have 3 filters and I know I have enough biomedia and sponges to keep everything, keep all my biobacteria, my biomedia. Look at this. I mean, these are where the actual filths come off. Look at this, just disgusting. Feels good to get these cleaned up. After we're done here, we're gonna take this canister outside and dump this water. You can put it on the lawn actually, or in your flower garden. It works as a great fertilizer. I didn't get any real footage of me spraying this thing out, so you're gonna have to imagine it with your mind. Now look here, there's some sand in here because these cichlids like to spit the sand out that they pick up right above the intake for some reason. It gets sucked in there, so I'm gonna spray that out. Use a hose and just get it clean.
Hose them.
Back inside. This is the bottom tray, so this is going to be biomedia. This is the last tray that the water is going to hit before it gets put back in the tank. Put the side course media back in. So the middle basket, more biomedia for me. I have a tray on the biomedia, so I have 2 baskets of biomedia basically. Some lava rock mixed in with the original media that came with the filter. Put those back in, and then this is the first basket that will have water go through it. That's where our sponges are. I have the fine media goes in first, and then the coarse on top of that. If you have anything like filter floss, that would go underneath the fine media that I put in here. And that would need to be changed just about weekly. And I neglected to mention that if you have any chemical filtration like Purigen or ChemiPure Blue, that goes in the last basket right after biomedia. Put the side straps back on, and now we're ready to put that back in the empty, clean canister. And after I get that in, I add water back into my canister. I add some prime to the bucket full of water so I don't kill my beneficial bacteria, and then I pour it in. But again, this makes the canister heavier to put back inside the stand. And so if you don't want to do this, you don't have to. That intake valve with the hose already has water siphoned into it. There's suction and a siphon already in existence. So if you hook that back up and then turn the valve so it's open, it's just going to instantly fill with water again. But I don't want to drain water out of my tank because this is not a water change day for me. I don't want to have to add water back into the tank. So I'm going to fill it up with this dechlorinated water from my bucket. Now when I grab the lid to put it back on, I didn't get a great shot of this, but there's a gasket that goes around the outside perimeter of this lid, and that needs to be checked to make sure that there's no wear on it and it still looks like it's in good condition. Otherwise it will need to be replaced because that can spring a leak if you hook it back up with a defective gasket. Put that back on, and then you're going to flip all of the locks back on. I do it usually one opposite the other, and I tighten them the same way. Clockwise, I get them all very tight, and then I will go back through and make sure that there's no room to tighten them further, so I tighten them twice. Okay.
I'm almost done.
Now I'm going to lift and put this back up, and again, if you didn't fill yours up with water, super easy. This one's a little heavier. I'm going to get it into place. See, mine's backwards probably to yours. I have the intake on the right side, and I'm going to hook up that valve again. You just press down and it will click into place. Make sure you hear that click or you will have a mistake on your hands. Water everywhere. Both in place. Now I can turn the intake so that it's open again, straight up and down, and you'll hear some water rush in there even if you did fill it up with water. Then I do the other side a little more slowly because the faster you go, the more air is going to purge out of that tube into the tank, and it can cause, all the intense bubbles can cause a mess up at the top, maybe a little spillage coming out. So I gradually turn this thing, and you can have a little bit of air escape at a time until it's vertical. Nice and easy. All right, they're both into place. I heard the click. Now I'm going to plug it back in, and that baby should start running. And don't forget that after about a minute or so, it's going to stop running, and then it will start up again. Here they are side by side. Nice clean filters. Anytime you open up your canister filter, you're creating an opportunity for leaks to occur. Now that I have my filters back into place, I'll let it run for 5 or 10 minutes, then I'll feel around the filter to make sure I don't have any small leaks anywhere. If I do, I'll tighten things up and stop the leak early before it turns into a disaster. Never ever skip this last step.
You didn't check?
If you have any comments on how I could have done things differently or some tips or tricks that you have when you're changing your own Fx6 filter, please leave them below in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe and ring the bell if you found this video useful. I've been Dave with the Cichlid Charmer. I'll see you next time.